What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I'm your host today, Jared Timms. I'm joined alongside my co-host, my partner in crime, Nate Green. Nate, day 3 of the winter meetings. How you doing?
Worst day of the winter meeting so far.
It's heating up as we're recording this. I did it yesterday. I'll do it again because I don't want to miss anything. 7:30 PST as we're recording this. You never know what's going on. We got news today. Some news. Some news. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, just the worst news is Tyler Anderson 2.0 got traded before Tyler Anderson 1.0, and we'll talk about the other reason here soon.
So, with all that being said, guys, just thank you so much for watching and listening to this podcast here at Talking Halos. You can go ahead and follow us on all our social medias, X, Instagram, and Facebook. You can follow myself on X, Jared_Timms, Nate at NateGreen34, and let's get this rolling. Nate, the Angels, the 8th pick in the draft. How you feeling about that?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why it was a rough day too. You lose 2 spots in the draft, to two teams that were at least one team that was a borderline playoff team, and that's got one of the best young cores in baseball with the Cincinnati Reds, and then you lose out to the Cleveland Guardians, who it seems like all they do is pull up young pitching. So it's definitely sucks to see 2 teams that competed way better than the Angels did. And I think the thing that sucks the most about the draft lottery is knowing that the Angels actually tried to win. It's not like they're tanking. They tried to win, and they're still kind of getting screwed in the draft lottery 2 years in a row that they've moved back in the draft. So it is what it is. We'll hopefully somebody slides and the Angels get what they need, but we'll see. By July, the Angels could be different of what we're looking for compared to right now. You could say, well, get us a young starting pitcher, and who knows, maybe at that time it's, hey, get us just the best player in the draft that's available. Who knows?
Yeah, more money, which is good. Assuming maybe you don't sign Shohei Ohtani as well. More money in the draft, which means possibly better players. I guess we'll kind of see where that takes us. Again, a reminder, tomorrow we'll be talking a little bit of Rule 5. There are actually quite a few interesting names. By the way, I just want to throw this name out there because I saw it today. Asa Lacy.
Oh, yeah.
Rule 5 eligible. Hasn't made it above, I think, high A, but Rule 5 eligible. With that being said, I have a question for you. You're not going to like it, but I do have a question for you.
Sounds good.
Would you be okay with the Angels signing Shohei Ohtani?
No.
Hold on, if Artie said, and he had to come out and say it, that he would go above luxury tax every single season with Shohei.
No. And the reason why it's still not, it's not that Artie doesn't spend. That's not what frustrates me, and that's not why I don't think Shohei Ohtani's not going to work. I don't want to be tied to spending 50, or right now it looks like it could be $60 million on a guy that may never pitch again. And if he does pitch again, that's great. But we have seen guys that have had 2 Tommy Johns, and the numbers are not good. Noah Syndergaard coming off his 2nd Tommy John. We've seen Tyler Chatwood, who is a former Angel, have 2 Tommy Johns. He didn't really he didn't take that step forward. He kind of took a step back. I think he might have had 1/2 of a good year with the Cubs, but still nothing great. You just see a lot of guys who struggle after 2 Tommy Johns. The velo goes down, the strike throwing goes down. It's just not a great combo of things. So, and if that's the case, you're getting a Shohei Ohtani starting 92 to 94 and only DHing, and then becomes a DH only. You're spending 2 times the amount of money on Albert Pujols. And I can tell you a lot of Angel fans did not love Albert Pujols towards the back half of his career. And I can only imagine what happens if Shohei Ohtani becomes Albert Pujols 2.0, where it's like, you know what, he doesn't really move as well anymore. Well, he hits, but he doesn't hit as good as he used to. And I don't know. I think that's a real possibility when you're signing a 29-year-old to a 12-year contract, 10-year contract. Year 7, 8, 9, 10, it's going to be tough. And if he's not pitching, you might get 1 pitching year out of him, which is it worth $60 million for 1 year of pitching, and year 7, 8, 9, 10, basically, which would be a good part of like the Zach Neto, Nolan Shanuel, like they'd be about 28 to 30 right then. You'd be right in their prime, and you're kind of in the same spot of, well, we spent way too much money on one guy, and we are kind of, it's hard to build around the prime guys.
Back to the Albert Pujols thing. People are not gonna like you for saying that, by the way.
I know.
People are gonna like me. Shohei Ohtani is a lot better athlete than Albert Pujols. I think that's fair to say. I think he's a lot better player
Okay,
than Shohei.
but I will say, to counter that, Albert Pujols was a way, 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 way better hitter than Shohei Ohtani was before free agency. Like Albert Pujols, you could argue he was the best hitter of his generation, right? Like he was that good of a player. Shohei Ohtani is not that good of a hitter. He's a good hitter. Do not get me wrong. Do not take this out of context that Shohei Ohtani is not a good hitter. No. Shohei Ohtani is a good hitter. But Albert Pujols was on another level when it came to hitting. And yes, we know that Albert Pujols might have been 35 when he signed that contract. Who knows? But still, you would be signing a DH only in years 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Even Nelson Cruz struggled. And Nelson Cruz is like that kind of hitter that Shohei Ohtani could be. And Nelson Cruz kind of struggled towards that 35, 36, 37 years old. So that's what worries me. And how long are you really going to count on him pitching for? My guess is 2 more years tops.
I say like 3 to 4. However, I don't disagree.
3. Now, so you're getting 3 out of 10 years of pitching.
It's not what you want, especially after this year. Like, yeah, you're probably a Tommy John away from not playing baseball again, because I think after 3 Tommy Johns, it gets hard to raise your arm. And
I think he probably could DH only.
Yeah. So am I paying $60 million for DH? That's tough from a baseball standpoint. I get it from a business standpoint. Now, to add on to that question that I asked you before, I said if they go over the luxury tax every single year. Now, would you sign Shohei Ohtani if not the Angels, but if Artie Moreno sold the Angels next season? Making you think a little bit more.
I still don't think it's that big of a deal, because I think Artie is right there anyway. I don't think whether he signs Shohei Ohtani or not is going to change his mind. Hey, we signed Shohei Ohtani.
It's more of a you question. It's more of a you question. Like,
I know
the Angels have to sign Shohei
Ohtani. But you understand my point. Like,
yes,
Artie's probably selling within the next couple of years anyway, whether he signs Ohtani or not. And honestly, I think if he misses out on Ohtani, he's more likely to sell the team sooner, knowing that there's a chance that he loses money faster without Shohei Ohtani, because as we know, when Shohei Ohtani was pitching, there were butts in seats. When Shohei Ohtani was not pitching or not playing, there were not butts in seats. So he could look at that and be like, ooh, we missed out on Ohtani. I'm going to sell the Angels now at the highest that I possibly can, because if I wait and people start to see, oh, you know what, the Angels, there aren't people coming to the ballpark. Oh, the Angels are still right around that 76, 80 win team. Like, I'm not offering, $3.5-4 billion that there were talks of. So I actually think it goes the other way.
What do you mean?
If Ohtani doesn't sign with the Angels, Artie sells faster.
I think I think he's close to selling. I agree with you there. You don't have any fun with this, man. Like, just have fun with the question.
Zero fun, sir.
Went too serious with it. So, next
I am
question.
always serious
with the winter meetings theme. And sorry, you guys might be able to hear the dogs barking and walking below me. I have babysitting duty here. With the winter meetings, there's been only Shohei Ohtani talk. It feels like there hasn't been a lot of moves going on. In particular, it's been rough. However, I want to talk about what happens if the Angels don't sign Shohei Ohtani, because it seems like the Angels are very much so in on him, and I want your take on what happens if the Angels don't sign him.
Well, I think.
What do you want? What do you want the Angels to do? What's the plan after you get Ohtani if you don't get him?
You see, what I want the Angels to do and what the Angels will do probably will be different.
You're the GM right now. Go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah. If you miss out on Shohei Ohtani, I'm pushing chips in and I'm getting Yamamoto. I think he's the ace that you're looking for. He can pitch every fifth day. He'll be in a normal rotation. He won't have to pitch every sixth day. He'll fit what the Angels are looking for, an ace. I think the other thing you do is you go get Cody Bellinger. I think you put those two guys together, and you might still get less money between the two than Shohei Ohtani makes. I think Shohei could get about 60 million right now, the way it looks, and Bellinger and Yamamoto together might get you about 52 million, which is still cheaper between the two. That gives you a right fielder / center fielder, and gives you a first baseman if Shanuel doesn't hit, or if Shanuel becomes a free agent and signs elsewhere, things like that. And then you go get like a Tim Anderson, and you got a second baseman. You got to trade Tyler Anderson. You got to trade Luis Rengifo. So like those would be the next steps for me. And then you start looking at the minor league free agent relief pitchers, and maybe even one more starting pitcher. Who knows? Maybe there's a guy like Marcus Stroman, Eduardo Rodriguez, somebody like that who fits, that is not going to break the bank, but also just going to be a quality piece. And hey, they've got postseason experience. They've pitched well, those kind of things. Looking for that next Nathan Eovaldi type of guy, because I was in on Nathan Eovaldi last year. I did not want Tyler Anderson. So if you can find that guy this year where it's like, hey, he's pitched in the postseason, he's had postseason success, and he has a chance to not cost you a lot of money, but also just kind of fill in as that nice 3 in the rotation. That's kind of what you would need after the Yamamoto signing. So
It sounds like you want Jordan Montgomery. I'm not quite in on. I'm in on one or the other.
I think Montgomery costs way too much, but
I agree with you there. I'm not in on Montgomery. I would love to see the Angels get Yamamoto. I mean, if you've been watching any of these podcasts lately, I think we've talked about him more than we probably talked about Shohei Ohtani, which is surprising. Probably the same amount.
It's probably close.
We haven't talked about Cody Bellinger yet. It's an interesting move. I'm not in on spending $60 million on those type of free agents this year. I think winning comes from development, man. At the end of the day, I think you got to go develop guys. You got to go get young. You got to get younger somehow and get better that way. And that's drafting and developing guys. I don't think you can buy. When was the last time a team bought a World Series, man? Right, like the Padres, like
even the Phillies,
even the Phillies, like went out.
Half that team is bought.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
Which is exactly where the Angels would be. Half the team bought, half the team developed. Yeah.
I just think you need to allocate more into the development side of things and getting younger. And Yamamoto is 25 years old and is as young as you can get in this market right now. You can go sign the Cuban kid too if you wanted to, if you thought like that was a good alternative. And you think like, I think he's going to probably get close to $50 million from what it sounds like, maybe a little less than that. I don't know exactly, but Yariel Rodriguez, I think is his name, out of Cuba. It's an interesting name for sure. If you want to get younger like that, I think he's 26, but you said it with the Albert Pujols thing. A lot of times with the Islands kids, you don't get a birth certificate with it. It's tough to know how old they are, especially the Cubans. We've seen it before. So that is definitely one thing that scares me. You don't get that with Yamamoto. You know he's for sure he's a 25-year-old. And nothing against the island kids at all, but when it comes to kids from the islands, it's anything that they can do to play baseball, and baseball at a high level, and we've seen it before. And so, but with that being said, like, yeah, if you want to get younger, I think Yamamoto's that route, and then you have a legit core at that point if you get Yamamoto. You don't need you get a core with Bellinger, but man, dude, the core with Yamamoto, I like that a lot more. Plus, you have more money to spend. And I don't know what the free agent market looks like down the road. Maybe Manny Machado's getting a little old. He might opt out at some point.
He signed his massive deal last year.
Yeah, I think he's got I think he's got some opt-outs, doesn't he? Or is he not? It does not have opt-outs.
He legit just signed his massive deal.
I thought he had.
It's for this year. This is his first year of his massive deal.
Okay. Never mind. Then I'm off there. But I mean, you're looking at it down the road. I mean, a guy like Kyle Tucker is going to be a free agent here soon. Alex Bregman's a free agent. You can go get those guys. You have a core to to work around. When it comes to signing Shohei Ohtani, you are doing the exact same thing. You're running out the exact same roster plus $30 million, $20 to $30 million that you're paying Shohei Ohtani, and you're expecting to be better and be a playoff team, right? Like, if the Angels sign Shohei Ohtani this offseason, the only other move that they've made so far is signing Adam Kolarek, and they also got rid of Aaron Loup. So basically, you're bringing back Aaron Loup. You almost bring back the exact same team. It's like, well, maybe if they were healthy, it's like they'd been healthy in the past and they couldn't do it with Shohei and Trout and Rendon and Albert and Justin Upton and those guys. So like, why all of a sudden can you do it now? And would we be saying the same thing if Mike Trout was a free agent? Like, hey,
If he
like,
was asking, if he was asking for 600 million,
600
I think
million,
yes.
yes. I would agree
If
with
he
you.
was asking for, the norm of like, hey, he's getting 32, 30, between 30 and 35 a year. Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, Trout in his walk year, we're probably talking about him getting 45 a year. Instead, he probably takes the team friendly deal with the Angels and gets, what is he making, 35, 36 a year right now?
30.
He
Yeah,
probably
36.
somebody probably gives him 45. Philly or somebody like that would probably give him 45 for being Mike Trout, and even at 45, man, that's tough. Like, if we were talking Shohei Ohtani at 30 million, if we were talking Shohei Ohtani at 40
This is a
million,
different conversation if he's 30 million.
it's a 100% different conversation because that's something you can build around. But you're spending $60 million on a business. Like, I'd already said at the beginning of last season, did he not? Like,
Yeah.
This is a business. Like, Shohei Ohtani is an entertainer, man. Like, that is how Artie Moreno views Shohei Ohtani. That's how Artie Moreno probably views all his players as entertainers. And to an extent, he's not wrong. Like, they are entertainers, and I totally understand that concept behind it. But I think it's been proven that putting a winning ball club on the field is a heck of a lot better than putting entertainers on the field. But you never know. I guess the NBA makes a good amount of money putting entertainers out there and things like that. So, but yeah, if Shohei was asking 30, not asking, but like, if the price was 30 million, 30 mil for even 12 years, like, that's a hard offer to pass up on a guy that,
Even if it's 35, like what Trout makes, like, you're fine.
yeah.
Right? Like,
but to double that, to double what anybody's making is insane. I mean, what's Garrett Cole making? 35? Like, arguably the best pitcher in baseball. Garrett Cole making 35. Justin Verlander in his prime didn't make above 30. Like, this is strictly becoming business, and whoever signs him, just, I don't see them competing unless these figures that people are throwing out there are way off. It's tough to see it. It's tough to see it working. So I don't know if you have anything else you want to talk about. I have one other thing, but I don't want to talk about
just real quick to go back to the Cody Bellinger thing.
Yeah.
You are not going to find a 28-year-old free agent for a long time.
How old's Tucker going to be? 29, 30?
I'm just looking at next year's free agency because that's kind of the next one that's available to me. Yeah. Pete Alonso's 30.
Yeah.
Not making sense there. Altuve's 35. Willy Adames is 29 and not
interesting name.
Not quite the player. Alex Bregman 31. Tyler O'Neill 30.
You know what?
You'll have Juan Soto at 26.
Yeah.
But I'm giving Cody Bellinger not even half of what Juan Soto's getting. Juan Soto thinks he's getting 400 to 500 million. I think you're getting Cody Bellinger at 25.
Yeah. But the Bellinger deal will look good compared to a Juan Soto deal. I love Juan Soto and everything, but like
and Soto can't play defense to save his life.
Yeah.
Like, Bellinger is stupid athletic. He could play first. He could play right. He could play center. He could DH if you need him to. There are just so many things with Cody Bellinger that he brings to the table. Plus, he's been to the playoffs a lot. The dude knows what the playoffs are like. I think that's big. We've seen him come up big in big moments. And I think one of the things that him and Tim Anderson, both guys that I brought up on my list, they talk about, their teams were having them play through injuries. Like Tim Anderson was playing through injuries. Cody Bellinger 2 years ago with the Dodgers was playing through a bad injury, and it kind of messed up his swing. You look at what he does with the Cubs this year. If he does that for $25 million and he's playing right field, center field, first base, like that's a very quality piece. Plus, he's sitting in the middle of the order, gives the Angels a left-handed bat in the middle of the order. It's very, very right-handed. Right now, off the top of my head, you have Shanuel as the only lefty in the order, if I'm correct.
Trey Cabbage.
In the order, starting, because you would run out there Tim Anderson,
Luis Renifo against righties.
Maybe if he's not traded in my scenario, he was traded.
Moniak.
Possible, but where's he playing?
Oh yeah, Matt Thaiss against.
I'd rather have Logan O'Hoppe
off days. And by the way, the year after Juan Soto, it's Luis Robert, who's 28 at the time, and Kyle Tucker, who's 29.
But he also has 2 years of options, so that probably won't happen. No. He'll probably get club option there. I don't think I think he's about 30 by the time he's a free agent. Mm-hmm. So but like, think about it. The Angels would be 7 righties and 2 lefties if they ran out there the lineup that you're thinking with Shanuel being lefty, Bellinger being lefty, and then it would be O'Hoppe, who's righty, Tim Anderson, Zach Neto, Anthony Rendon, Taylor Ward, Brandon Drury, and Mike Trout. Those would be your 7 righties in a lineup. It allows you, especially when you change the ballpark to make it supposedly a better hitting ballpark for lefties by making the home run lower in right field. So
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying Yamamoto fits the age range a little better.
28 isn't crazy.
No, it's not. But if it's the age range a little bit better for me, just saying.
I understand, but he's 28, super, super athletic, can play multiple positions, left-handed bat, hits for power. Could you imagine him hitting behind Mike Trout? Like, if he's right and Mike Trout, like that's something that could really help the Angels. And then you could throw Anthony Rendon behind him in the 5 hole. If Trout's hitting 3rd, if Trout's hitting 2, you throw him in the 3 hole and you put Rendon or Ward in the 4-5. Like, that lineup starts to get a lot longer. Right now, it's very, very short.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. I mean, then we'll let everybody bounce out of here after this. But you look at the Angels lineup, what it could be next year. You go Shanuel leading it off, Trout in the 2 hole, or you go Ward in the 2 hole. You go Trout in the 3 hole, Rendon in the 4 hole.
What if Trout's hitting 2? Who hits 3?
Cody Bellinger? No. Man. You're probably adding another bat in there if you're not bringing Ohtani back, right?
But you see my point.
Yeah, I get what you're saying behind him there. Yeah.
And it allows Trout to hit 2, which, we always would have loved to see Trout hit 1, but if he's not hitting 1, 2's the next best option.
30 more plate appearances, which means he gets on base 10 more times out of the year, which
I would say 14, 12.
Which is, I'm just saying.
Just because it's a walk, more walks, things like that. Yeah. And who knows, maybe Tim Anderson leads off in that scenario, and Shanuel hits about 7th. And it's Tim Anderson, Mike Trout, Cody Bellinger, and, maybe Rendon hits 4, Ward hits 5, Drury hits 6. You have Shanuel 7, you have O'Hoppe 8, and Neto 9. Like, that lineup gets a lot deeper than hitting Drury 5.
Yeah.
Because that's in the order right now, Drury's hitting 5.
Yeah.
And not to say Drury's not a good player, but he's not a 5 hitter.
No, and he's not anything. I mean,
and Rendon's.
Yeah. I'd like to see Rendon in the 6 hole at this point in his career.
Rendon's not a 3 hitter.
No.
Which right now he's hitting 3rd in this lineup.
Yeah, that gets pretty rough. You give an aging offense at this point where the Angels' offense was better. I know it was Trout loaded and Ohtani loaded, but it's definitely getting a little older on that side of stuff. So let us know if you're watching us.
Oh, wait, one more thing.
Something just happened?
Yes, the Angels just signed Luis Garcia to a 1-year, $4.25 million deal.
Former
Reports Bob
Angel.
Nightingale, the reliever, is coming back to the Angels. If it's
Uh,
the same one
yes,
I'm thinking
yes,
of,
yes. It is. I have a funny story here for
it
you.
is 32. 30 when he was 32 with the Angels in 2019. He is back, coming off his 2 years with the Padres, which
Well,
were fine reliever years.
as we're doing this, I always like breaking news. This is kind of fun here. I mean, we don't get this too often. Funny story with Luis Garcia, by the way. I'm at, and you might have heard this one before. I'm at a
Minor league game.
66ers game.
Yep.
Yeah, 66ers game. Sitting there with Taylor Blake Ward, the world famous Taylor Blake Ward. By the way, he said that we can't talk about his picking of the date anymore. So I
He
talked.
picked it wrong. So
No,
we're
you
just
can't
gonna.
tell. Don't tell him that. He said he's not going to come on the show anymore. So we
It's
can't.
fine. He picked it
Can't.
wrong.
All
He'll
right.
still come on the show.
No, he won't. Okay, at a minor league game, sitting there, we're sitting down the line, and this pitcher comes in. We're like, okay, like we're not expecting anybody. This guy's buzz 98, 99, and just a wicked splitter. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go see who this is because both when Taylor and I don't know who a minor leaguer is, it's like, all right, like let's go. This might be a dude. Go in right behind. I check the name out. Like go up to a scout. Who is this guy? Luis Garcia pumping 98, 99 on a rehab start against the 66ers. So funny story there. I'm excited about this. We can break it down. We got a couple more minutes here before we let everybody go. 4.25 million. Nate, it's not back of the bullpen money.
No.
It's are you happy at a 7th inning spot here with this guy?
I don't know if he's a seventh inning guy.
Not the rotation, but the bullpens. I mean, you got some velocity here. You got a kid like Jose Soriano, Ben Joyce, Sam Bachman, who's Bachman might get a little bit of starting action as well. Luis Garcia now, Carlos Estevez. You have a very, and this is going to sound weird, very firm bullpen. as weird as it sounds, like a lot of guys that miss bats. So I'm pleasantly surprised with the way this bullpen is, and you're not spending a lot of money on this bullpen either, except for Estevez, who's getting 7, 9, 8 in that range. 7 to 9 is what Estevez is getting. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think it's 8.5.
I was close. I was in the middle of it. I knew I was close.
I think it's 8. I'm not 100%, but I think it's 8.5.
So 1 year, $4.25 million. First reported, it looks like by Bob Nightingale. Pretty
yes, your boy.
solid there. You got anything you want to talk about with Luis Garcia? Nice bullpen piece. He complements the bullpen nicely. If you want to know any more, I'll definitely be posting it on Twitter or X, Jared_Tims. You can go check it out there. What do you got, Nate?
He threw 60 innings last year, which on a bad team, San Diego's not good last year. The strikeout number is a little lower than you would like for a guy who throws that hard with that splitty. I don't know. It's 4.25. It's not a killer. Kind of reminds me of the Archie Bradley signing from 2 years ago. Kind of that way where it's like, yeah, not really a back end guy. Shouldn't be a back end guy. Maybe throws in the 7th. Interesting, but like I don't know. He's old. I think he's going into age 37. Is that correct?
I'll let you know here in a second.
I could be off by a year, but for some reason I think he's about 37, which is I don't know.
Oh, this is a different Luis Garcia.
I got him.
We don't want that. We don't want that Luis Garcia. Sorry. No, I'm excited. I got to find the bullpen velocity there because that's going to be a pretty velo happy back of the bullpen. How old is he?
He turns 37 next month.
Okay, so a little bit older for sure. So you worry about the injuries coming off 16 innings pitch. You said,
yes,
that is a little bit worrisome to me. But at 4.
And the strikeout percentage being down, that's another thing that's a little scary to me. If you throw that hard and your strikeouts are down, especially as a reliever, it's a little scary to me. But you know, I don't love when the Angels spend money in the bullpen. 4.25. I know it's not that much money. It's still not great. let's see, what do we got last year? K percentage at an all-time low of 19.9. Walk percentage.
His velo was up. I'll say that.
His walk percentage was at almost the highest of his career, which was 9. That's not good either. His ERA and xERA were the same, which is kind of interesting. Sinker slider guy,
for
a little bit of the splitter.
For 4.25 million, I'm not upset. It beats 7 million to. I liked Ryan Tepera, but it beats 7 mil to Ryan Tepera. It beats 7 mil to Aaron Loop.
Hilo was a tad down last year, not crazy, but
no, it was.
He was 98.7 and 97.3 last. So 2022 is 98.7, 2023 97.3 on the sinker, and the four seam was 97.7 in 2022 and 97 in 23. So not like crazy down, but slightly down. Slider, basically everything was the same. Split finger was a little bit down last year, not crazy number. The four seam fastball was up. So I wonder if they see anything in that. Just, oh, hey, we throw the splitter a little bit more with the riding four seamer up in the zone. Possible. I don't know. Not super excited about it. Like we said, 37 years old, but we will see. This team still needs a lot of help.
It's a step in the right direction. So with all that being said, you got the breaking news here. Angels signed Luis Garcia, former Angel Luis Garcia. They bring him back for 1 year, $4.25 million. Good to see him back. The velo, or the bullpen, gets a little bit more velo, maybe a little bit more swing and miss. They need bullpen help for sure, especially if you're going to not add any pitching. And we'll talk about that in the weeks to come. Don't want to talk about it now. Well, don't want to talk about it now. Don't even shake your head. We're not talking about it now. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching and listening here at Talking Halos. We will be back tomorrow to break down more of the winter meetings. Follow us on all our social medias, X, Instagram, and Facebook. You can follow myself on X at Jared_Tims, Nate at Nate Green 34. Guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. Have a great rest of the day.